John Key is retiring. You've probably heard the news by now, but we thought we'd have a quick chat about what's going on. Earlier in the week, he announced that on Monday he will no longer be the Prime Minister of New Zealand. He is stepping down, he is stepping aside. He is going to stay as an MP for a wee while. He said he wants to stay for as long as he needs to so as to not force a by-election in Helensville, because obviously within 12 months from now there will already be an election, so that's probably quite a good decision on his half, and I guess good on him for making that so the country doesn't have to spend a whole lot more money on what could be a superfluous sort of exercise. Dominic George, your day job working on the country for Radio Sport and News Talk ZB, I'm sure that talking to farmers, which is primarily your audience, there's been a lot of talk so far this week about this decision.
Yeah, well, it's come out of the blue, really. No one picked this, did they?
Well, I actually saw someone saying that it's a letdown for the news sources of the world, for the journalists of the world, because no one picked it.
No one picked it.
There was no leaks, there was no nothing.
Well, maybe no one got it because there was no leak.
Yeah.
You know, he kept that one really, really tight. So he obviously didn't tell many people at all. I'd be surprised if he told more than one or two of his work colleagues, so to speak, obviously Brown and you. And the kids, I suppose, but yeah, it was really quite the shock, actually. I think people took, honestly, about a 24-hour cycle to actually digest the news, because for a legacy guy, I sort of thought, well, I mean, he's really in my opinion, it was another lay down a fourth term. I think that was pretty much in the bag for him. Look at the polls. Couldn't see the left block. Well, maybe with Winston in there as kingmaker, maybe something could have happened there. Hasn't that shown in recent and the fallout from this? That relationship is not good, is it, between Winston Peters and John Key?
Well, and other relationships, like a surprising one, Don Brash and John Key. Don Brash has been really not complimentary. He's basically said he's a good daily manager, but he's had no vision for the country. And you know what? There's an element of truth into what he's saying, because what National has done so well over the last 9 years, now by wow, what I mean is to keep them employed, to keep them in power, not necessarily well for the country, that's a matter of opinion. Yeah. But what they've done is they've picked up the policies and the ideas which have typically been on the left, but have been popular, that National typically would move away from, like working for families, like interest-free student loans, sort of stuff, and they've taken them and run with them. So in other words, when Don Brash criticises John Key talking about doing everything that Helen Clark would have done, he's kind of right. But then again, when we look to America and Donald Trump at the moment, if you're not a popular MP, politician, you're not getting in. So on that aspect, they've done brilliantly.
Yeah, no, they have, absolutely. And I think a massive part of that as well is brand key. And I think that they're in a little... it swung on that one announcement. That election next year has just been turned on its head.
Well, I don't know. I think
it has.
Well,
come on.
Yes. No. Look. Look. This is. I do agree with you. I think that perhaps it's now more likely to be a close race, but I don't know if I quite go swung on its head. Now, the reason being is John Key's announcement has not improved Labor one iota. So there's now nothing better about Labor today than there was 2 weeks ago. What it's done, though, it might have weakened National.
This is
so
this
what
is
it means is it's
yeah.
made them worserer, but it hasn't made Labor betterer.
No.
So the only reason that there would be a tight race next year is because people aren't as enamoured by National as they were under John Key.
Absolutely, and in personality politics, a lot of people voted for John Key. Yep. Who are they going to vote for now? Is it going to be Bill English, Crusher Collins, or is it going to be Jonathan Coleman? I have no... Well, when I say I have no idea, I think that they will go with the safe pair of hands in Bill English. That would be my gut feel on the thing.
Do you know what? I think that you are probably right. Mm-hmm. I think that would be where, if the TAB was running odds, that's where I'd put it as well.
That's where you'd be the lowest.
You actually have to say, if they acknowledge that they've won through a personality Prime Minister, a popular Prime Minister...
You're going to say Crusher, aren't you?
Collins is the only one in there that's got any personality. Could you imagine Bill English versus Andrew Liddle? I mean, could you actually stay awake during that debate? How boring that would be.
Oh, it would bring politics back to, the good old days where no one was interested and that you'd get the odd person that would listen to Parliament on the radio. That would be pretty much where it was. Yeah.
And so there was a very good tweet by Toby Manhire yesterday who talked about a battle of the mustards, which of course is Coleman versus English. And he also talks about then it's also a battle of the dictionaries, which is English versus Collins. And I just saw today he put out a tweet with a whole like London Bridge and a whole lot of bridges from around the UK. talked about the next Prime Minister, because of course Simon Bridges has just said he'll be happy to be English's deputy. So the pictures he was putting up was English Bridges.
Oh yeah.
So kudos to Toby Manhire. He seems to be
done,
on this the most of all at the moment. But look, I think that it will make next year more interesting. I think unarguably that National is still in the lead. But if they lost 5 percentage points, it's anybody's game.
It's game on.
With a collaboration from the left and centre.
With Winston.